But Mike got us in the super chat. We always appreciate those. Mike wants to know, do you think we're going to see changes in goal this offseason? It's a big question. Anton Forsberg has 1 year left on his deal at 2.75, and Joonas Korpisalo has 4 more years after this year at $4 million per season. Now, it's a diving contract in terms of the AAV going down year after year, which makes the buyout a little more interesting. But do you think that Joonas Korpisalo and Anton Forsberg will be the goalies for Ottawa next year?
Absolutely not. I think what's most likely, in my opinion, if they are, then this team is telling the entire league they're tanking. They have to be. This is the worst goaltending duo in the league. I think what we're going to see is Anton Forsberg probably get a buyout. Sucks because I had a lot of faith in Forsey before this year, but obviously when you maybe I'll allow his injury to excuse the change in his play, because he's looked like a whole different goalie. But when you blow 2 MCLs on the same play, probably changes a lot of things, even if he is healthy right now. But I think they're going to buy out Forsberg, and I think they're going to keep Sogard down in Belleville all of the rest of the season. I think even if something happens, they'll bring someone else up, in my opinion. Have him develop in the AHL. Hopefully Belleville makes the playoffs, get a little more confidence there. And then I think you could see a scenario where Korpisalo and Sogard are the tandem next year until they can find something better. Now, am I saying that that's good?
That's terrifying.
No, I'm not saying that's good. But to find a goalie, everybody's looking for a goalie right now. So I think if you're gonna trade for a goalie, it's gonna cost a lot. And how do you make the cap space for it? I don't know how you do that. And you're not about to sign another goalie in free agency like that. When this move was made, the first thing I thought of is, when has signing a goalie in free agency long-term ever worked out?
I got one, not to discredit your point, because it does make sense, but Linus Ullmark recently.
Yeah, okay. All right, boom.
That's one. There's a lot more times it doesn't. Jack Campbell would be the ultimate trump card on that one right away.
Yeah, well, and then even like Bobrovsky, that's an interesting one. I would bet most of the time you're not going to say that deal works out. He makes $10 million, even though they did have a good year and he's playing better now. But it's not a good move.
There's teams that have more than one goalie. Nashville is going to move on from Saros eventually. I'm not saying he's the target. He's probably going to a team like LA or another team that needs a goaltender that's more imminent to making it, because he got 1 year left and then gets the big extension. But like there's teams that have more than one goalie that are out there. You look at Vegas, like a Logan Thompson, Aiden Hill situation. They could be a team that moves a goalie. You look at Montreal, but I don't know if Jake Allen's going to be the answer here. He's more kind of a 1A, 1B situation. Maybe it's like the coach and keeping your options open till the offseason, where maybe somebody becomes available via trade that you don't think or wouldn't expect to be the case. But Pillsy, if they run Korpisalo Sogard starting next season, I'm gonna have a ton of restraint out of any sort of hype with this team.
Look, I'm not. Don't get it twisted. I hope people in the chat and you're not misunderstanding me. That is not what I want to happen. That's not what I think would be the ideal scenario to happen. God, no. I don't think that's the play. But I just think it's so hard to find goaltending. You got to try to trade for one. So you're going to give up big assets to only get maybe 1 or 2 years out of them. Hopefully you can extend them if that's the case. But you're competing with. There's so much competition for trading for a goalie. You gotta hope the guy you've got long-term figures it out, or you gotta hope the prospect that you've invested so much time and draft capital in developing figures it out as well. Like, I think that's what the patience of Steve Stais is likely going to do with the little that we know from him.
Yeah, we'll see. They got to figure it out, and they don't even need like an elite goalie. They just need plus 900. Like, they've got to be, if not last, near dead
like a
last.
905. If they had a team 905 save percentage, I'd be interested in seeing their record.
905 like isn't even a good save. Like,
no, it's not. No, that I bet that's right around league average.
I'm looking right now at 5-on-5 save percentage right now. The Ottawa Senators, guess where they are? It's the least surprising thing ever.
31st.
32nd, dead last. They're the only team below 902, and they're at 896. It's not even close.
Yeah.
And the two teams that are just ahead of them at 5-on-5 save percentage, 30th and 31st, are both in the playoffs. Tampa and Colorado.
What? Wow.
Yeah, man. And then New Jersey, which isn't as much of a surprise. But all those teams are separated by, like, it goes 902, 904, 906, 906, 906, 906, 907, 908. Get what I mean? It's all by one. And then Ottawa's 896. They're multiple points below all these players. It's just driving me nuts. Anyways, like, I would even look, who's but even like a goalie like Laurent Brossoit, like, who has a bit of experience, but like that, like, they don't need a great goalie. They just need one who can be consistent and keep the puck out of the net. So it's a great question, Mike, and we're going to get to it throughout the next months, if not longer, when we go into a situation. And he is a UFA, though, after this year. Laurent Brossoit, is he the answering goal for the Ottawa Senators?
Let him go.
Yeah, maybe not, but I mean, he was already gone and then came back, but he's got a 920 save percentage in 13 games. But again, the way the Winnipeg Jets play defensively, a lot different.
Wait, just to add one more point to this conversation, the only other option, Ross, is you try to get a late 20s, early 30s guy for $1 million, and you hope you hit the lottery, right? Like a Wedgwood, like a Alex Lyon, like there's a couple other guys that are doing that this year.
Aiden Hill.
Aiden Hill's making a lot more money than that.
No, but when they got him.
Yeah. And Aiden Hill was a guy I was super interested when he was available.
You know what the problem is? And
thought he was going to be good.
I'm not going to throw stones at a guy who's been reassigned in the organization, but you have to think that the former goalie coach there, Zach Burke, was a huge fan of Korpisalo, because Pierre Dorion made it adamant that the team, like the scouting team, the management team, loved him. Well, who do you go to ask about a goalie? You go to your goalie coach, I'd imagine.
No, that's a good point. And they made an offer Korpisalo really couldn't refuse. Like, I would be interested to know what the other offers Korpisalo had, and especially that Korpisalo got that 5th year out of them.
I would be interested to know, behind closed doors, microphones off, what Steve Staios, Michael Andlauer, Dave Poulin think of this team.